Bass champs today, tournament winning fish, one of the all-time great catches. It actually is barely in the top 50 of all-time catches in the state of Texas. And we happen to know, I happen to be really good friends with the guy who is like fishes with this dude, who was actually supposed to be in that boat today. So we got all the details on the story. I went, got some video of the fish. We're going to talk about it. You were on the water today in Megabass. We're going to talk about Megabass at Lake Fork and the unbelievable 15-pound giant bass that was caught to win that event today. We're also going to tell other stories from Megabass. We are also going to talk about tournaments. We got some tournaments that just happened. We got tournaments coming up. We're going to talk about all that. Yeah. So, way to contribute. Yeah. Are you going to participate in the podcast?
I was letting you go. You had it all.
Listen, we got to work this out because I just opened it up for you and then you're just like, nothing.
I mean,
by the way, welcome back to the Fish Life Podcast, all you low ballers, because this is the lowest budget, actually live podcast.
That's right.
And that makes y'all low ballers. Welcome back. What's up? Let's go.
Hey, we got it right, though, because I believe there was a comment made on the last podcast saying I wouldn't be surprised if a Sherlunker was caught.
Well, no.
But
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But, yeah, we didn't really. That's a whole nother thing, what just happened.
That's not just a Sherlunker.
The whole of it, like Lake Fork kind of like showed out a little bit today. There was, I think, 9 or 10 overs caught. There was multiple hours with multiple overs. There was multiple double-digit fish caught. Oh, yeah, that was capped off by a 15.47-pound bass, which is going to be once the Ivy 16-pounder get in there and the Ivy 15-pounder get in the top 50 list, it's going to make it either number 49 or number 50 overall, depending on which one was bigger, the Fork 15 or the Ivy 15.
That's right.
This fish today will be either number 49 or number 50 of all-time bass caught in the state of Texas.
That's crazy.
How crazy is it that you got to catch a 15.5-pounder just to get in the top 50?
Oh, when we heard it today, me, Vic, and Cody were like, well, let's try and win an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, because what do you do?
No, it's done.
Yeah,
it's done.
I believe it was Cody Mays today said, if that was me, I would beach my boat and I'd go sit in my new boat for the rest of the day.
Bro, this was this guy's day. I'm going to tell you, I was at the weigh-in. He caught that 15.5-pounder. Like 2 or 3 hours later, he goes up there and weighs in and under and gets a check. And he won one of the raffles for like one of the prizes they were raffling off at the end. It was so bad, like he was just winning everything. The Chad Potts, the guy that runs Bass Champs, he drew that guy's name and he goes, "Hey," and they were calling him Mark. His name's Tanner, and the guy that I know that knows him real good always calls him Tanner. His name on Facebook is Tanner, but they kept calling him Mark. I guess that's his actual first name or whatever.
Maybe.
Anyway, he's like, "Hey, Mark, you mind if we give this prize away to somebody else since I think you probably won enough today?" Like Chad Butts literally said that to the guy. So it was his day. It was his day. There's no doubt. Got the story on how he caught it, and it's a pretty good one. So we're gonna get into that tonight.
That's like trying to pull up a.
Bro, you must be tired because you can't even talk tonight. What are you doing?
I'm a lot going through my mind right now.
A lot going through your mind.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, "How did you do, Cobra?"
I mean, we caught a few fish. Nothing with notoriety.
Yeah, nothing but slot fish.
Nope, slots.
Just
all
slots.
males at that.
Yeah, all males. No, they didn't do that great. They caught a few fish, but and caught some decent fish, but nothing that they could weigh in.
Right.
Because of the slot. The slot is always a gamble. Skeeter, quit. Skeeter, chill out. Or get up here. Come on. Let's get the fishing dog up here. Now we're in.
Hey.
This might be the worst start to a podcast that we've had so far. This is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And we should both be pretty excited because it was an awesome day. Skeeter's excited about it.
Yeah.
Do I think the wind made it tough? No, I don't think anything made it tough. Did you not just hear what I said about how many giants were caught?
Yeah.
I don't think it was, and there was a ton of big overs coming to the scales. They had some overs over 3 pounds.
Yeah.
There was it was taking 2.5 pounds on an under to get a check, and there was
a 3-pound under caught too.
Yeah, there was a 3-pound under. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of, like I said, it was taking 2.5 pounds just to get the last check for the hour, which is a big under. 2.5 pounds is a big under.
For sure.
There was a lot of fish going through the scale. So, I mean, they were biting. I don't think anything made it tough. I think it's Lake Fork.
Yeah.
There's some people out there that struggled. I talked to some guys at the weigh-in that did struggle. But overall, Lake Fork showed out. Like, they were chewing today because there was a ton of fish coming through the scales.
Yeah, it was definitely I think it was a timing deal where, some people just missed, and I think we missed a little bit, but
Look at how she's laying.
oh no.
What an idiot.
She gets no attention.
The old fishing dog. There it is. There's the lowest budget part right
Come
there.
on, let's
There it
go.
is. There's the lowest
Yes.
budget. It is a new phone without a cracked screen. Did you notice that?
I did notice that.
We might have to change our name.
Oh.
The former lowest, but we've moved our budget up a little
Highballers.
bit. On a new, we're the high ballers now. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
High ballers. What's been going on in your world besides that? Anything?
Man, just trying to be responsible and fish as much as I can.
Yeah, we don't care about that. It's
Yeah.
that time of year, folks. There's a full moon tonight. Like, it showed out today, but like Lake Fork's about to show out for this entire week. Like, it's gonna be so stinking good. The fishing is gonna be this, not just Lake Fork, everywhere. It's gonna be good everywhere. Like, these next few days will be the best bed fishing days of the year.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna start to spawn all over the lake. They already are starting to spawn all over the lake. They've been spawning in the northern ends. It's just gonna be amazing. Like, Lake Athens probably has fish on beds every 5 feet right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm guessing?
It probably looks like bluegill spawn,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, like, it's just gonna be crazy. Like, this week is going to be nuts. We are going to all whack them. So hopefully y'all all saved your vacation for this week. If you were, you were smart. It's go time, man. It's go time.
Yeah. I know my home lake pond in my backyard is starting to get pretty good, and the next couple of days I'll be.
I mean, everywhere.
Dynamite.
Just everywhere is going to be banging this week. And there's no place I'd rather be when everywhere's getting good than Lake Fork.
Oh,
just
that's
because of what it is. Jerry Carson said he was on Athens today. They're on beds everywhere. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Nailed it. And all the ones that are on beds by themselves about to have a partner over the next 3 days. That's how that works. The females tend to lock up in more numbers as you get 2 or 3 days behind the full moon. So
Needless to say, if you've got a little time after work this
get
week,
it.
go.
Get it.
Go,
Get it.
like
Yeah, for
yesterday,
sure.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, let's just get into the Megabass deal because I want to talk about kudos to the Share Lunker program. We're going to have a video. I went up there and filmed the video. When I heard about the 15 pounder, I went straight there, talked to the guys at Share Lunker, the Texas Parks and Wildlife guys, and got linked up with them when they got there and got to film the fish coming out of the live release boat and going into the tank and the process. And it's the first time I've ever seen that in person. And for anybody, and sometimes these older fish, they die sometimes in Texas Parks and Wildlife's care. But if you ever see what they do for those fish when they transfer them, you will have no doubt that it's not their fault. Like, when those fish die, it's not on them.
Yeah.
There's no way that fish died because of something they did. If that fish, after watching that today, I'm 1,000% convinced. If the fish that have died in the Share Lunker program is a result of that fish was going to die anyway.
Yeah.
Because the way they take care of these fish, I mean, they're taking care of them better than Mother Nature can. I mean, they baby them. They equal out we'll show you in the video. They go through an extensive process while they're there to make sure the fish is taken care of. And it made me really proud and really, proud of the program and proud for what we have in the state. It's so good. So good. Did all the overs go to Athens? No, not all the overs go to Athens. Just the ones over 13 pounds, which was the 15 and a half pounder. She went to Athens. So kudos to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Share Local program. Kyle Brookshire, all those guys that do that, man. They do a phenomenal job. You're making a Texas angler like me super proud of what y'all are doing, man. So thank y'all for that. So I guess we ought to just get into the story about how the guy caught it.
Tell me the story.
Here's the story about how the guy caught it, because it was pretty cool. And he actually even got up on stage at the end when he accepted his trophy and told this story. It was really cool. So he sees a big fish on a bed, and he fishes for it. He gets it to bite, sets a hook, brings it to the boat, and it comes off right at the boat. And he sees it, and it's like a 6 or 7 pounder. It's a good one, but it's like a 6 or 7 pounder. And he gets off right at the boat, and he immediately pitches right back into that bed. And before that fish even had a chance to get back on that bed, his line just shot out. His line ran off the bed. So another fish was in there. He didn't even see the other fish. Another fish was in there, grabbed it, swam off the bed, sets the hook. It's her, and it's on. Can you imagine not knowing that it's there and then hooking into a 15 pounder within a short pitch from your boat? Like, that is chaos.
After you just had a 6+ come undone at the boat.
We're talking about how shocking. I mean, he talked about he never felt anything pull this hard. It was amazing how strong the fish was, and there was obviously no controlling it. He said the fish came up by the boat and then took off under the boat, and there was no stopping her. And he thought his rod was going to break, his reel, his line. He said he thought everything was about to explode. He never felt anything like that before. He was just holding on for dear life, but she went under the boat, and his buddy that was in the boat was like, "Hey, she's jumping on the other side." And he goes, "Yeah, what do you want me to do about it?" And so finally, after she did a couple of jumps on the other side, she got tired, and he was able to get her back under the boat. They got her net. It was that 15-pounder. And then they get her in the boat, and they're all, he said that he was kind of like in shock or kind of calm, but his buddies were like freaking out.
As they should be.
They were like jumping up and down, yelling, hooping, hollering, all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then they put it on the scale, and his buddy's holding the scale, and the numbers are facing his buddy, and he's on the backside of it, and they put it, and they hang it up there, and they look at the numbers, and they look at each other, and they just take the fish off the scale and put it in the live one. They're like, "Come on, we gotta go." And he goes, "How big is he?" He goes, No, we're not gonna tell you. We just gotta go." And he's like, "No, I want to know how big is he?" He goes, "No, we need to keep you under control. You're driving the boat. You got to get us in there safe."
Yeah, fair.
Sit down, we're going in.
Fair.
And they get in there, and it was a daggone 15.47-pound bass. Unbelievable. Congratulations to you, Tanner Spurgeon. Mark Spurgeon's what they called him in the way, but Tanner Spurgeon is how I know of him. And Michael Burnside, who's a good friend of ours, great fisherman in his own right. His son's one of the more successful high school anglers. His son is also named Michael. He's a great high school angler. And Big Mike Burnside, he's a great DFW angler. He does a lot of good catches, a lot of fish. He actually helps us with our Fish Life app packages on some of our DFW lakes, and does a great job. Now, the bad thing for Mike is his son, Michael, little Michael, fishes with a boy. I think his teammate's name is Connor, I think. They had a high school tournament today on Levon. Now, Michael was supposed to be in the boat with Mr. Spurgeon today. But the other kid's dad couldn't captain today, so Mike had to go captain the kids today, so he wasn't there. He was supposed to be, but he wasn't there. Dang. And they did good. They got a top 10 finish on Levon, so Michael did a good job boat captaining. The kids did a good job catching them. But, yeah, our boy was supposed to be in there.
Mm. Can you imagine even netting something like that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
On a personal note, and this is going to be a little bit of, arrogance, personal pride, whatever. I got to talk to most of the hourly winners today. And every one of them that I talked to watches the channel. They all watch the Your Lake Fork Guide channel. I'm sure some of them are app subscribers. I didn't ask, I didn't want to be that guy to ask them that, but I'm sure some of them are subscribed to the Fish Life app. The guy that won it is a friend of one of our contributing partners to the app.
Mm-hmm.
So, a fishing partner to one of our fishing partners on the app. You know what I mean? So it's like, I felt really connected to the guys that were winning, and felt like, not that we deserve any credit for it. It was just really cool to know that dudes that are being that successful have interest in what we do.
That's right.
I guess is the best way to say it. So
we're in good company.
It was really cool for me to experience that side of it. I think Mercer's in here tonight. We got some. There he is. Another week, more Texas Giants. That's right, Mercer. Dude, it's going down. I actually sent you a message on Instagram earlier today when it first happened. It's crazy. Like, we got 23 ShareLunkers in the program. This has been the biggest year for ShareLunker since 95. Over this period, January to March, this has been the biggest year for ShareLunker since 1995, which is when Fork was like kicking out 20 to 30 a year on its own.
Yeah.
Like that was when Fork was in its heyday, and it was just insane. But it's been a crazy year. And now this is something that we did nail. When the Ivy deal started, when it first started, I said that this was the beginning.
Mm-hmm. The calm before the storm, if you will.
With the new lake effect in 2014, 15, 16, the good spawns we had, the rich nutrients in the water. And then on top of that, now that those fish are getting to that size, and we've got this new technology with LiveScope. Now, today's fish had nothing to do with LiveScope, but a lot of them have had a lot to do with the LiveScope. So with that technology plus the new lake effect, it's just going to keep happening. Like, it's mind blowing what's happening, and I'm beginning to feel like I suck at fishing because I haven't caught a 13-pounder because everybody seems to be catching them.
Yeah, I mean it's a relative term at this point.
But we're gonna have to like change our perspective on this deal a little bit because this is gonna keep coming.
Yep.
And we'll quit hearing about it as much because the share lunker season, as far as donations go, ends March 31st.
Yeah. That's still, I mean, I can't believe, the Ivy deal was crazy, and I'm going to be completely blunt. I didn't think that 20 was going to happen this year. I honestly didn't. I thought it was going to be
we set the over under 10.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be around 15 tops, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
that would have been exceptional.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we're at 23.
Yeah.
With 3 days left, or 4 or 5 days, whatever it is.
Crazy.
Maybe I can get one the next few days and make it 24.
Do it.
Maybe, yeah.
I bet you won't do it.
I guarantee it's the only thing I'm going to be trying to do.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not even going to care about anything other than trying to catch the biggest fish in the pond.
I
might not throw a bait smaller than this the rest of the week. I'm just saying. There were some guys that caught a 10-pounder that caught it on a big swim bait on a shell bed. So that went on too. We got a lot of questions coming in tonight, so we'll take a little bit of time, a little bit of break here to answer some questions, and then we'll get back on track. Besides pre-fishing, what would you guys recommend a newbie tournament angler can do to compete against local guys on their local tournament waters? Thanks, I do plenty of map study too. Besides pre-fishing, what would you guys recommend a newbie tournament angler can do?
Look up the species.
First of all, depending on what lake you're on, competing against some of the local hammers is just like it's a challenge. Like it's really, really tough. Like
it's a give and take deal.
There are lakes that the locals could beat some of the traveling pros that don't have as much experience on that lake. Like they could. It's really hard to kill. Like Rayburn's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Palestine has a good group of locals that are really tough to beat at times. The Tom Main and the Fergusons, and there's a bunch of guys. There's a bunch of guys on Palestine that if you're not from there, it's gonna be really hard to beat them. The only thing you can do to compete against them is just get better at fishing. Like, just work harder at it.
I'll tell you what helped me a lot whenever I first started doing it was I looked up all the aquatic vegetation in the lake. I looked up all the predominant bait fish.
Just educate yourself.
Educate yourself on what lives there.
That's
because
right.
Once you learn
the environment, what the cover is, what the bait is.
Once you learn what lives there and what the predominant cover is, that's going to help you out more than anything, I think.
Yeah.
Because then it just becomes covering water, taking what you know and applying it.
Yeah, and it's not just about doing map study. It is about researching things like tournament weights, bait, what type of bait fish is the most prevalent, different things like that. Just get as familiar with the lake as you can before you get there. And just outwork them. Just outwork them.
That's right.
The bottom line is it doesn't matter what you're doing. You can always try to work harder than the other guys, and whether it's fishing or another sport or your job or whatever it is, if you become obsessed and start working harder, you're going to get better, and you're going to be better than the guys that aren't working hard eventually. Right. I would also recommend that you just accept that, when you're fishing tournaments, you lose a lot more than you win.
That's right.
Even the best in the world do. And so you've got to go into it understanding that no matter how hard you work, you're not going to win most of your tournaments. As long as you can see progress and you're getting better, you need to take confidence and solace in that and keep moving forward. And eventually you will overall become better than the guys that aren't working as hard as you. That's just the bottom line. Anything you do, though, that's not just fishing.
Yeah.
Patrick Smith says, we are getting hammered on Chickamauga by fishing pressure. It's horrible. Only a handful of 10-pound bass so far for the year. Weights are way down.
Tell us about pressure.
I don't want to hear anything from Chickamauga about fishing pressure. I really don't. I know y'all got it. I know Gunnersville has it. But you ain't got it any worse than Fork has it every single year. Like Fork is so small compared to these other big lakes. And I don't know how big Chickamauga is. It's not one of the biggest ones. But Fork is so small compared to the Gunnersvilles and the Rayburns and the Falcons and Salitas and Clear Lake and Okeechobee and all these big destination lakes that people travel to. Fork's so small, that per acre, I can't imagine anywhere like Chickamauga getting more. And Fork's had that pressure for 30 years now.
Bro.
30 years.
So, okay.
Y'all started this morning.
Yep.
You were the first boats in the cove. You guys left at 4 a.m. Left the ramp at 4 or 4:30, whenever it was,
4:30, yeah.
whenever you could.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get into your spot, and it was you guys in your boat, and Zach Watts was in there in his boat, or
And he
other
wasn't,
buddy.
and he wasn't even the second one there.
And then all of a sudden, we're talking about a small cove,
Yeah,
and then there was like 13, 14 boats in there by the time you could make your first cast.
that's right.
In a small cove.
Yeah,
Like,
you could cast from every boat.
there was
to every boat.
16 boats in a small cove this morning to start Megabass.
I'll do you one better. The guys behind us, I could throw a wacky worm in their boat.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So yeah, I mean
pressure's, yeah.
the pressure does affect lakes, no doubt about it. And it probably is affecting Chickamauga in a negative way. That is one of the biggest reasons that makes Lake Fork the goat lake to me, because it absorbs this pressure, and even though it gets this pressure, it still does what it did today. And it does that every single year in spurts. Like, it always has these windows where it kicks out these giant bass. Lake Fork never has a year where people don't go catch giants. It never happens. No matter the conditions, no matter the circumstances, no matter the amount of, it doesn't matter. Pressure, whatever. And that's one of the consistency of Lake Fork and the longevity and what it's done is what makes it, to me, the greatest trophy bass fishing lake of all time. You just look at the total number of giants that have come out of it, and it's like, there's no argument, on a data, statistically, you can't argue with it. And a lot of people would say, yeah, but it hadn't been as good as, it hadn't been that good in a long time. Well, no, it's not as good as it was in 95.
Yeah.
But it still does this consistently every year. And OHIV is the best trophy bass fishing lake in the world today, right now. But last year it wasn't. And for the last 5 years before that, it wasn't. And OHIV is going to go down again. It's going to be good, maybe for several years. The OHIV deal might stop this summer, and it might not stop for 3 or 4 or 5 years, depending on water level and all that. But eventually, OHIV is going to be not that good anymore.
Yep.
And Fork will still be what it is. Like,
right.
it's so unbelievable how Fork just absorbs everything.
A funny story about pressure. So today we're in a small little pocket. It had pretty decent water clarity. We've seen, look, we saw a bunch of gar up close. Well, we saw one bass, and I noticed that it was just cruising. And so I flipped over to it, a little bass, 3 or 4 pounder. And I'm talking about as soon as my bait hit the water, gone.
She gone.
Yeah, she's like, nope.
She gone.
Nope, see you later.
Yeah, Colton Deloach's last weekend pulled in the cove, crossed from Hideaway, and 8 boats followed me in. No doubt. And that's another small cove. Yeah, it just is what it is. That's how Fork is. Do we know any good spots on the East Coast? On the East Coast, probably the top bass fishery, and it's not on the coast, but it's close. Santee Cooper. MLF's about to go to Sharon Harris pretty soon, the Bass Pro Tour. That's I knew nothing about it till they went there the first time. But, man, it was really impressive. Really impressive. So Sharon Harris in North Carolina is good. Santee Cooper in South Carolina is really good. And, of course, if you consider Florida part of the East Coast, there's some great lakes in Florida. The St. Johns River down there and Harris Chain. Yeah, all that stuff. What else we talking about tonight? Let's see. So, yeah, that was Megabass. That's kind of the wrap-up from it. Fork's just unbelievable. Guys were kind of catching them on everything today. Literally, they were kind of catching. Like, when I talked to guys at the weigh-in, it was like, well, I caught him on a frog. And the next guy was like, I caught him on a chatterbait. The next guy was like, I caught him on a jerkbait. The next guy was like, I caught him on a wacky Cinco. And, the one guy said he caught a big swim bait. I'm like, it just seemed like they were kind of biting a little bit of everything. Like, there's just a lot of fish pulling on there, biting kind of whatever you can throw at them right now.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a good thing. I want you to tell them what you did, what y'all did on the radio.
I was about to bring that up. When
we have these hourly tournaments, there's a radio station local to Lake Fork out of Mineola called 99.9 KMOO.
That's right.
And they broadcast all day on tournament days, and they announce the weights during the hour, so you'll know if you need to bring your fish to the scales or not. And they do shout-outs, apparently. I didn't know this. But they do shout-outs, apparently. And why don't you tell them what you bunch of gooberheads, you bunch of idiots, what did y'all do?
So they kept talking about this text line, and Cody Mays was telling me about it, about how the last time, I believe it was Big Bass Splash, they you can do requests or shout outs or whatever. So he requested, he said, and I believe this is like verbatim quote, please, for the love of God, don't play 5 Pound Bass again. Because apparently they just played it on repeat. And so he was telling me about this, and I said, hey, you ought to give Billy a shout out on there. And so we're kicking around what we're going to say. And so it ended up being, and they did this on the air, it said, we got a shout out here from Billy Lawson, your Lake Fork guide. You are my hero. And when we heard it, we started hooping and hollering like we caught a 1547.
Freaking idiots. I've said it before and I'll say it again, folks. I really need to work on my list of friends. I really do.
Is it sad that was the highlight of our day?
That's very sad. That is disturbing, son. That is disturbing.
I don't think there could have been a fish I caught that would make me happier than that, because it's just funny.
Greatness.
Yeah.
Greatness.
And then immediately after they said it, we were like, oh, Billy's listening.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was Megabass. It was awesome day. Great day to be an East Texas guy that's in the bass fish. Great day to be from Lake Fork. A lot of pride involved. Lake Fork showed out. It was awesome, and like it does so often. She will let you down and humble you on an individual basis, but overall, it's usually pretty hard to be ashamed of Lake Fork in any kind of way.
If you ain't willing to be humbled, then Lake Fork ain't the spot
for you. No, it ain't for you. That's right. They are tough. The fish are tough to catch out there a lot of times. Today, for some people, it was really tough. And then for some people, it was obviously really great based on the fish that we saw. So,
a lot of people with a lot of hours on that lake got humbled and get humbled every day.
Oh, Dollar Bill.
Oh, Dollar Bill.
Mercer, if you're still in here, how about Dollar Bill finishing off earlier this week, man?
Just doing what Dollar Bill does.
That was your pick. After we looked at the first couple days, you picked Bill Owen. I picked Kobe Krieger. I was wrong. You were right. You got that one.
Blind squirrel finds
caught that 7-pounder on the last day. Come on.
Yeah.
Great tournament. Considering the flooding and the adverse conditions they were dealing with, just a phenomenal event for the Bassmaster Elite Series. A very fun tournament to watch. Very good. Obviously, Bassmaster did what they do and put on probably the best TV production that there is out there. I really do feel like they have the best TV production in the game.
So I have a question, and this is like it kind of taking a stab at Bassmaster, but not really. Have you ever noticed that there are TV shows that come out and air like after the fact? I'm not talking about the live.
Yeah.
Does it look like those cameras are like 20 years old? Have you ever noticed that?
I don't even know what a 20-year-old camera versus a modern
camera
camera
looks
like.
I'm just saying, when you're watching the program, you feel like it's 2002, and you're watching it, but it's like recent. Have you ever noticed that?
Maybe I'm just getting old, bro. I don't know.
Has anybody else noticed that?
I've never noticed that. I think they have like the best editing, the best graphics.
No.
Everything's their TV production to me is awesome.
No, their production's good, but like whenever they go back to the studio, it feels like it's, I don't know. I feel like I'm going
old fashioned.
Yeah.
I never got that feeling from it.
I don't know.
I totally disagree with you on this debate.
That's fair.
That's not the only thing we totally disagree on.
No.
Yeah.
See, yes, I have. Thank you.
Yes, I have. There's one.
Yeah.
That's your boy.
And there was one.
Cedar Creek Freak. He's got nickname. He calls you the Cobra. Like
I'm the Cobra.
That's your guy. He's a Chris Blackman fan.
I'm telling you, man. There is some of us out there.
Hey, Cedar Creek Freak, you need to check your priorities.
Yeah, ain't no lie.
Check your standards,
Ain't
son.
no lie.
So anyway, that tournament was really cool. Now, unfortunately, did you notice how that dam area, that
Kobe Krieger.
Yeah, the tail race area. Did you notice how like that got super crowded after day one?
Yeah, crazy.
Like
whole buzzards.
On that level, that's not really supposed to happen, bro. Like it happens, but not to guys that have a chance to win. You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
Zaldane fell victim to it. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just the newer culture. Like, it's a hard topic for me because there's times at Fork where if you're not willing to fish around people, you're just not gonna fish.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere that's got room. Like, you're gonna fish near people. So there are times on Fork where you got to kind of let that go and just be as polite as you can and courteous and try not to get directly in their way. But like there was dudes in there on top of where dudes were casting and stuff. And it's like, and these were guys that weren't close to the top, and they were coming in on guys that were close to the lead. And I know it was still early on in the tournament they had a chance to make the cut. Like bro, like that's not supposed to be done on that level. Not at that level. It's not like today. There was like 900 boats on Lake Fork
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
And then there was 900 boats entered in this tournament today. There's like 80 of these guys. There's no reason for them to be on top of each other other than they're just trying to catch the same fish that guy's trying to catch. It's the only reason.
I mean, in a situation like that, you shouldn't be within. If we can sit here and have a conversation and not have to raise our voices, you're way too close in my
It's a
opinion.
really tough topic, though, because you think about it like this. These guys, it's their living. They get 8 chances a year
Yeah.
to make their living, whether it's through prize money or sponsor dollars. They get 8 chances a year to bring value to those sponsors, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a little different now with social media for a lot of them, but really, to make their name, to build their brand, they get 8 chances a year to do it. And if you're there in practice and you find fish and you're there in practice, like if I find this fish and then you find the same fish in practice, and then we show up there on tournament day, it's kind of like whoever there's first kind of gets it.
That's right.
And you got to wait for that guy to leave, or you just move on.
Well, first of all, in my opinion,
But
it's
then
not kind of like that.
But
That's
then
how
on
it is.
but then on day 2, the boat draw flips, and now you're going to get there first. And if you go there, I can't necessarily be mad at you for going there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a really complex deal. But man, it seemed kind of overabundant in that tail race area where it was like, that's not really cool. And I just don't know if that's just the culture changing because our lakes are getting so much more crowded. We have so many more fishermen now that people are just becoming more accepting of whole buzzarding, as you would say. You know, like I don't know if that's just becoming more accepted, but I don't. I hope it's not. Like
Yeah, I
on
don't-
that level when you're competing, the guys that have a chance to win, they should be allowed to have that chance to win.
I think that I'm still very, very old school about a lot of things fishing, and this being a big thing. Like to the tune of, and look, I'm not dogging anybody that was fishing behind us in Double Branch today. I'm not. I get it. There's 900 boats.
Yeah, that's a whole different ballgame, yeah.
Different ballgame. But me personally, if I'm driving on the boat lane and I look over and I want to go to Double Branch and I see 12 boats in there, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I'm not. Again, I'm
You
not.
know, in that situation, a lot of times it's not the first guy that's wrong, or the second guy, or the third
Right.
guy, or the fourth guy. But at some point, one of those guys is wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the fifth guy. Maybe it is the third guy, depending on the size of the
Yeah.
area.
It's just one
I
of
don't
those
know.
things. Yeah.
just-
And again, I don't think it's a.
I just hope it's not becoming more of an accepted practice at the highest level in a multi-day tournament for you to know that this guy caught him here today and I'm going there tomorrow. Like that does not need to be something that becomes accepted.
You would like to think that at that level you've allotted yourself the respect to at least have an area to
You'd
yourself.
also like to think at that level that you're confident enough and you're good enough to not have to have only one spot to catch them.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah. Again, there's no concrete answer for that.
No, it's a tough one. It's a really tough one, and I'm not blaming any. I'm not trying to call anybody out. It's a very complex and challenging situation, and there's a lot of for lack of a better term, desperation in those guys.
That's right.
To succeed in those 8 chances they get, but overall, like we said, man, that Bassmaster Elite Series on Pickwick was awesome. It was great. Then we had Bass Pro Tour this week as well on Sam Rayburn.
Not real great for numbers.
I mean, the fish catching was honestly, really, to me, disappointing when you consider they're there at March leading up to a full moon. It's Sam Rayburn. They just had a Bass Champs tournament where it took 35 pounds to win. There was like 3 or 4 bags over 30 pounds. And these guys could count every fish, and they weren't breaking 30 pounds.
Yeah, and I watched.
What? Oh, they could count every fish they caught over 2 pounds, and they weren't breaking 30 pounds, dude. Like, what in the hell was happening?
I don't know if they just missed the boat or not because I watched a lot of live, and a lot of those guys were talking about their practices and how their
So it was
practices
good?
were night and day.
So it just
Yes.
got bad on them. I mean, and that can happen.
Yeah.
I know there was a local tournament out there today that I saw Wyatt Frankins, a guy down there. I saw his Facebook post earlier today. He got second with 19 pounds. So obviously it's not fishing as good as it was before. But still, 19 on 5 and then 30 on unlimited, like.
He beats a lot of those guys with that.
Yeah, he does. He really does. And it surprised me. It surprised me, but it also made me feel a lot better about how Rayburn went for me and Zach.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say that because we just couldn't catch any bigger fish. We could catch all the fish we wanted, but we couldn't catch any bigger fish. And a lot of our fish that we were catching would have been under that 2 pound mark, and we wouldn't have been able to count them in an MLF format. You know what I mean? Like we would have been in the middle of the pack in that deal. And that whole I could beat the pros. We did that on the weekend when they were catching 35-pound bags. So I'm not saying that. I'm not
Right.
comparing what we did to them.
Right.
But it did make me feel a little bit better about what we did.
Yeah.
A little bit better about what we did.
That BPT tournament was definitely a war of attrition for sure.
Now, the ending was crazy.
Yeah, so explain that because I didn't get to see it live.
So speaking of TV shows and drama, and the Bass Pro Tour does a great job with their production as well. And their format is so good for storytelling and story building. Like there's so many opportunities to have interesting stories that can keep somebody that has no interest in fishing can be interested in that because there's a scoreboard. It's live. It's always updated, and you know where the standings are. And like there's guys freaking out trying to catch one more to get ahead, and unless they run too far up the Angelina River and they don't have any signal. Odd Defoe.
Yeah.
Who won? But he went up the Angelina River and didn't have a signal, so his catches were not updating on the score tracker. And they have some kind of rule where if you go like 45 minutes or an hour or whatever, I don't know what the exact, that rule where you go to a certain amount of time without any catches updating, you have to go find a signal or you lose those catches. So Luke Clausen jumps out on the final day. He's winning. He's leading. He's doing it. Got his thing going. Got that chatterbait working. It's all good. There's like 5 minutes left in the tournament. Luke Clausen is leading by 2 pounds and change. Odd Defoe has been up the river with no signal.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out to get a signal with 5 minutes left, and he had 2 fish catches that made him leapfrog Luke, and now Odd Defoe is leading by 2 pounds with 5 minutes left, and it just updated all at once, right at the last few minutes. And Luke Clausen's like, what? Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, it was, I felt so bad for Luke Clausen, but, you know, it was a great tournament at the end of the day. It wasn't like Luke was slowing down. He didn't have a commanding lead where he checked up and then it surprised him. He was fishing as hard as he could, and it turned out the way it was going to turn out anyway. Yeah. It just made for a little bit of extra drama the way that it all unfolded with the signal loss and all that stuff. It was pretty crazy.
Hey, little financial advice. Buy stock in Verizon because them BPT guys are about to start buying hotspots.
Interesting perspective, Chris.
Hey, man.
Don't know if you want to take financial advice from a dude that hangs out with me, but, you know, hey.
I wasn't even going to go there. You don't want to take financial advice from a dude that lives inside of me. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Fair enough.
I don't take my own financial advice.
Was there a 3.1 pound under caught today on Fork? There sure was.
Yeah.
Yes, there was.
Yeah. Do you talk about it?
Talk about Shorty got a fatty.
Golly.
That sucker was Shorty and fatty. Man.
Did that fish won an hour, didn't it?
No. Overs every hour.
Overs was every
Overs
hour?
every hour. That
it was
fish,
leading an hour.
I actually saw that guy walking through the parking lot, like he drove saw him walking through the parking lot with that fish in a bag, and I just looked at it in the bag and I'm like, man, if that measures, that is going to be a freaking stud right there, because it was tall as it was long. I mean, it was a big old fat sucker.
I saw there was one. I didn't catch the weight on it, but there was a DQ for a slot fish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a couple.
A couple.
There was a couple of folks that got to visit the game warden for bringing in slot fish. Yep, there was a couple. I think there was 1 or 2 overs that didn't measure.
I don't care if you're from Pennsylvania or next door. They will write you a ticket.
That's right. Mr. Green Jeans was showing up, sends you to the municipal court to pay some bills.
That's right.
If you bring in that slot fish.
Do you happen to know what the fee for that is? Because I don't off the top of my head.
No, I have no idea.
I've never heard.
I've never been guilty of it, so I don't have any clue.
No, neither have I.
There's a lot of fines and regulations that I'm real familiar with, but that's one I'm not familiar with.
Yes, there was a 5 pound over, by the way.
There was a 580, I think a 585. I saw him put that fish on the board.
That sucker looked like me.
It was even skinnier than you. I saw him put that fish on the board, and I turned around and told the guy next to me, I said, that fish, like, it's about to die.
Yeah.
Like, it looked poor.
I caught a fishing glade one time that was 23 inches, and it weighed a low 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've seen a couple of them real skinny ones. You know, I caught a fish. It wasn't on Fork, but I caught a fish somewhere one time that I set the hook on it, and when it came up, all it did was barely stick its head out and shake. And I told the guy with me, I said some inappropriate language.
Right.
But I said, get the net, it's a 15-pounder. That was the words that just blurted out of my mouth when I saw its head.
Yeah.
And we got the fish in the net, and it was like that over that was 585. This fish was that skinny.
Mm-hmm.
But the head and the frame on this thing was so big that it still weighed 9.9 pounds. Like it was right at like 9.9 tenths,
Yeah.
not ounces. Like it would have been like 14 ounces or 15 ounces. It was like right at 10 pounds, skinny as a rail.
Yeah.
This fish legitimately did have a 15-pound body. It was just super old and skinny and about to die. But you talk about heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Heartbreaking, dude. Because I've tried so hard to catch a big giant bass like that for so long, and to have one that shows up and has the frame and potential, and has the head and looks like that, and then have it be right at 10, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a 10-pounder. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't quite. It was an ounce or two short, but it's basically a 10-pounder, which is a great fish that you should be super excited. I've never been so disappointed
Yeah.
in a
Oh, yeah.
10-pounder before.
For sure.
The fishing dog is making an appearance, folks. How you doing, Skeeter Bug? Skeeter Bug's in the house tonight. She's happy to be here.
Ooh, easy. I just keep trying to like rack my brain about how I think I would act if I hooked a 15-pounder.
Quit. Hey, lay down. Lay down, Skeeter. You gotta chill out. Fishing Lone Star says caught some good ones on the Fish Life app spots yesterday. Man, I got a lot of people walking up to me today to tell me that they've been catching them on Fish Life spots. A lot of people. Met a lot of people at the weigh-in today. It was really cool. A lot of people came up and said hi to me, and I appreciate that. If you guys ever see me out at the lake, do come up and say hi. I love meeting every one of y'all. A lot of people, one that stands out, guy came down from Indiana, him and his wife, and his wife caught one that was like 23 and a half inches today. Another guy that has had a lot of success on the Fish Life app in the past, that's from out of town. He came down and fished the Sealy a couple years ago when we first had the app that first year, and he actually won an hour with it over and just sent me all kinds of pictures of giants he had caught using the Fish Life app. Had a dude at the seminar walk up to me and show me this freaking behemoth that he had caught that day on Friday using the Fish Life app. And I mean, it's legit. It's really good. And it's really good to get that feedback and just kind of see how many fish people are catching using the app. Whenever I meet them in person, they start telling me the stories and showing me the pictures and stuff. It's really, really cool. Really cool. So lots of people came up today talking, and the Fish Life app spots are on fire right now because everybody that was using them that was telling about it was just catching the crap out of big ones. So.
Oh, it works. I promise you it works.
You guys, I'm telling you, if you're not from Lake Fork or if you just want to learn more about the patterns throughout the year, you should definitely download the Fish Life app. It's spelled with a Y, L-Y-F-E.
Why is that?
Because it's the best damn fishing app ever.
Gotcha.
And go subscribe to whatever package on the lake that you want to fish. Lake Fork's one we're talking about today. But like we said, the guy that does some of our DFW lakes, well, he fishes with the guy that just won that thing with a 15.5 pounder today. So like everybody that we use, we are very particular about who we use on these packages. And he does all of our guys do great jobs on all of our lakes. And we got Ray Roberts with Classics coming up. We got Ray Roberts on there. We got Texoma. We got Hubbard Levon. We got, of course, the East Texas Power Plant Lakes, Welsh, Martin Creek, and Brandy Branch, all in one package. We got Rayburn. We got Toledo Bend. What else? Am I missing any?
Palestine.
We got Lake Palestine. I might be Lake Athens.
Did you say Ponds?
Lake of the Ponds. We got all those.
Did you say Holbrook?
We got Holbrook. Yeah, the hits keep on coming. I think that's all of them.
We got them all.
We got a lot of lakes on there on those premium packages, and the stuff is very detailed, and it really does work. So you guys should go check that out and subscribe.
Hey, so I should have had a camera crew follow me today
Okay.
because there was some National Geographic stuff that happened at Seth's today.
It says.
Yes.
So once y'all got done with the tournament, you went to Seth's. First thing, before you tell me this story, I want you to look that camera in the eye and tell all these folks how many pounds of crawfish you ate right after fishing that tournament.
10 pounds.
10 pounds. Guys, this guy is like 8 foot tall and $1.25.
Stop it.
And he ate 10 pounds
Stop it.
of crawfish.
Yeah.
Good Lord, son.
It was good.
Where did you put it all?
Femur. Right.
You know-
I hollowed out my femur.
You know when you eat 10 pounds of anything and you just think about the fact that you now have 10 pounds of food in your gut?
It's not really 10 pounds. It's not carcass weight. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 4 pounds.
I mean, that's fair.
You got like 4 whole pounds of crap in your belly.
Hey, I learned something new today too about crawfish that I did not know.
What's that?
Whenever you're eating crawfish, all their tails are supposed to be curled up like this. Well, the ones with straight tails, that means they were dead before. And so there ain't no telling how long they were dead. They could be rotten. So don't eat those.
Don't eat your straight-tailed crawfish.
That's right.
Vic Pearsall was with y'all. He said Chris ate 10 pounds in the time that it took him to eat 5. And Vic is a big fella. Vic's a man that looks like he might have competed in an eating competition before.
That ain't gonna burn on the exit. I don't think y'all understand, dude. This is not nothing new to me. Like I should have been beating those dudes in hot dog eating contests years ago. You've seen me eat before,
bro.
It's incredible.
Cody, who was eating with you too, told me about it on the phone. He's like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, this guy can put away some food.
Oh yeah,
and he can.
No doubt about it.
It's scary how much food, and he's so skinny. It's just weird. He's so skinny, and you're not as skinny now as you used to be.
No,
but when I first met you 7-8 years ago,
I weighed 165 pounds.
You were skinny, bro. And you're how tall?
6'3", 6'4".
6'3", 6'4", 165 pounds. He is skinny back then, and he can just hammer the food.
Yeah, I'm 200 now though.
Yeah, you are 200 now. Welcome to your 30s, son.
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome to your 30s.
That's right. I remember one time I went to...
the only guy I know that's skinnier than you is now challenging you to a crawfish eating contest. J-Bo, Jonathan Bowling,
you don't stand a chance, buddy.
says he'll take you on in a crawfish eating contest.
Okay.
And he literally is the only guy I know that's skinnier than you.
Yeah. Anyways.
And he's short and skinny.
Dude, I'm just telling you, if you like losing money, put 100 down.
J-Bo's entire calves, thighs on both sides couldn't equal one of my calves. That dude has the skinniest legs I've ever seen on a human being.
I've heard he can put down some food a little bit, though. Most skinny guys can. So I'll tell you one thing, a little side note. I was at a Chinese restaurant one time, Chinese buffet in Tyler. And so
I like how we're going down this road right here.
I've got plates stacked this high at my table.
J-Bo says I'll put 200 on it.
He must not like money.
You don't like that money. He's making too much of it. He's running too many
I had
gadgets.
plates stacked this high on the table that I was done
At the Chinese buffet,
Yeah.
you just been hammering it.
And so one of the ladies, she finally walks up to me and she says, "Sir, you've been here for 4 hours. You eat all the meat. You need more vegetable." And I just kept eating food. And then
I feel like we're being racist right now.
No, it's not racist. It's not racist. That's my best go at it.
I got you.
So, needless to say, you know, I always feel weird because they're sitting over there in the corner, you know, writing stuff down.
Taking
I know
notes.
what y'all are doing.
You're not allowed here anymore,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
We got to ban you. Listen, if you've ever been banned from a buffet, you might have an eating problem.
Bro, after plate 3, they slapped that check down. Like, to where I noticed they slapped the check down. I was
You
like,
just kept going anyway?
I ain't done. How about some sweet tea? Thank you.
Yeah.
You run me out of here. I paid my money. My greenback spin just like everybody else's.
That's right. That's right. It ain't my fault you said all you can eat.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't blame me. You put it out there.
What you think all means, man?
So tell me what happened at National Geographic.
I'm saying I literally had.
Oh, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah,
that
I
was the
had-
National
I
Geographic.
had juices running
Did
down
you
my
just have
palms.
like seasoning and sauce and everything all over you?
Got here, started rubbing my eyes. I'm a maniac. I'm a
He
freaking
did.
maniac.
He rubbed his eyes earlier when he's been here for a little while since he got
Yeah.
done with the tournament hanging out. But he rubbed his eyes and he goes, "That was a mistake."
Look at what Cody just said.
Fast forward 15 years, Chris Blackman on my 600-pound life.
Yeah. I'm gonna be that dude because I watched one of those episodes one time, and I'm gonna be the dude sitting over there. I'm hungry. Just ordering people around and give me food.
My goodness.
This took a.
Then we got
turn.
Thomas Talleyrand saying, "What the hell have I stumbled into?" There's no telling. And with this group, no telling.
J-Bo said skinnier now. I still got a mean hook set.
The real question that your number one fan, Cedar Creek Freak, wants to know is, do you suck the heads on the crawfish?
About every 10th one.
About every 10th one.
Yeah. Because, like, I breathe in sometimes, and that stuff ain't good in your lungs.
We're about to push the envelope. You ready?
No, absolutely not. Go ahead.
So you're not a overly habitual head sucker.
That's right.
You're just an occasional head sucker.
Occasional. I do it for the crawfish.
Now let's see if we get demonetized.
No,
I don't think that'll do it.
Innuendos can't do it.
I,
You're dog, dude.
bro, y'all missed it. Oh my god. That was so funny.
This dog is
So
something.
our fishing dog, Skeeter Bug, just bailed off the couch and went over Chris's lap, like right here over one of his legs, and left her two back legs stretched out, dragging across his lap for a good 10 seconds.
Now she wants to
Skeeter.
play pig.
She wants to play pig. Get out of here, Skeeter. Go lay down. Crazy dog.
She says, I want some crawfish.
She's on it. All right, get out of here. Go.
Hey,
Go.
you're shaking our camera stand.
This is our fancy, lowest budget, actually live camera stand. We can't be knocking the camera down for the second time during this live stream tonight.
That's right. We've already done one.
We're only slated one a live stream for the low ballers out there.
Yeah.
We're trying to be professional
So you know how?
at being unprofessional.
So have you ever heard the term? Like people say, everybody's always 3 bad decisions away from being in prison. We're always like 2 decisions away from needing donations.
No doubt. That's a terrible saying because everybody's only one bad decision from being in prison.
I mean, 2 to 3 actions. To get to that bad decision.
These other people don't have nearly as bad actions as we do then.
How do you know?
Because, the stuff that we pull, we're one.
They don't document their lives. We don't know.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, they're saying it's 3.
Don't judge us for them.
If they're saying it's 3, then they're not doing the things we're doing.
I'm just saying
'Cause we're
that's-
one.
I'm just saying that's what they say. I don't even know who they are. I ain't never met they.
Cody May says, just so I know, we signed you and all of us up for Big Bass Splash on Toledo. Is that while we're there?
That is while we're there.
So Big Bass Splash is happening while we're at Toledo?
Yeah.
And now we're all signed up for Big Bass Splash?
Yes.
What is it
Allegedly.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Gonna be a good time.
Didn't know that. Who's paying for this fiasco?
Everybody.
So y'all just volunteered several hundred of my dollars without my permission?
No, Vic said he'd do it. What?
Sponsored by Vic Pearsall. Let's go.
I think it has a nice little ring to it.
I'm always looking for new sponsors. Appreciate you coming on board, Vic. Good job, brother. We love you.
Cody's gonna be our spokesperson.
Vic just said I'm paying. What bait caught the big girl on fork today? It was on a bed, and he caught it on some type of little creature bait. I think he said it was a V&M bug, but I don't know. It's just one of them creature crawls, like all the other bed fishing baits that we use.
Bro, I'll have you know, I have a bait that I bought from a guy in Scottsboro, Alabama, when I went and fished that Oakley Big Bass Splash, and I only have one left, and I threw it quite a bit today and didn't get bit.
So, Patrick Smith asked, what tips do y'all have to improve your odds in catching 10-pound bass under extreme fishing pressure? I would say go extreme would be my advice. It would be, and by that, what I mean is either go extremely finesse and like drop shot, like drop shot. Because that's been something that's worked really well under the fishing pressure on fork over the years is drop shots. Yeah, they catch smaller fish, but there's been a lot of really giant fish caught on a drop shot.
Yeah.
And I think when you're on pressured lake, going extremely finesse is going to help your odds.
Yeah.
It's gonna give you a better chance at catching those pressure fish. Or just go extremely like big
Large.
swim
Yeah,
bait.
that's what I'm saying.
Big jig.
That was the other side of the spectrum.
Just
I was
fish
aiming at.
extreme one way or the other, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Vic says hey, that's actually good. Who wants to pay for about 14 dudes to sign up for Big Bass Splash at Toledo Bend? Let's set up a GoFundMe account. Who's in?
Surely that's a better odd than buying a lottery ticket.
Who's going to donate to GoFundMe for us to pay for our 14 dude entry fee at Toledo Bend? I can't pay. How much? Isn't it like $300 something to enter the tournament
Don't get me lying.
for all
I don't
3
know.
days? I can't pay for 14 people at like $350 a piece, bro.
You can, you just shouldn't.
That's like $5,000.
Yeah.
Cody May says it's 265. 265 times 14. I don't
a
know
lot.
exactly what that is. Let's see. That's about 500 times. So it's about 35. It's about $3,500, $4,000. It's about $4,000 somewhere in there.
Just a down payment on a new truck.
Like I
There you
don't
go.
really need to pay a $4,000 tournament entry fee for a bunch of idiots that can't go catch them anyway.
Oh,
Like
we're being called
How many-
out, boys.
well, like 4 of y'all from this trip fished today. How many checks did the 4 of y'all cash? I'll wait.
Here's my I mean, they would have counted on TV.
Exactly. So like, I'm supposed to pay $4,000 to enter a bunch of dudes that ain't gonna cash any checks.
They would have counted on T-Bend.
Goodness, $39.75. That's pretty good on the spot math Thank you, Jared Carson. Yeah, $4,000.
Did Jared Carson just sign up to pay?
Was that a was? Are you
that a
saying that's what
donation?
you're donating, Jared Carson? He's a freaking high school football coach. I know he ain't donating that much. But we did. Look, we got a donation. We done started. Fishing the Lone Star threw us $10. Not even 10. He hit the $9.99 on us.
Mm-hmm. That's how QVC gets.
Sims said he might donate and cook the steaks. Sims, are you coming down this year? Oh, we got conflicting math. Now Big C says 37.10.
We're fishermen. We can't do math.
Jared says, yeah, let me sell a couple cows. Hell with that. Give me the cow. I'd rather have ribeye steak than fish tournament with these idiots.
No, you wouldn't. You'd rather have a ribeye steak after fishing a tournament with these idiots.
That's true. Which I'm sure we are going to. Sim says he's pretty sure he's coming.
Vic, I think you're right. He is the real hero.
Who's the real hero?
Fishing Lone Star.
Fishing the Lone Star, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, for sure. 37.10 is right. Okay, it's 37.10.
Hey, I just want y'all to know if you interact with me at all,
He says, yeah, 37.10 is right. I coach PE, not teach math.
I just want y'all to know if y'all have any interaction with me at all going forward, you're getting. I'm gonna text in like 52 shout outs next tournament.
Oh my God.
They're gonna need a whole segment where they can't play.
We gotta
music
find
to
out
read
if
all
the,
mine.
we gotta find out if the station on Toledo Bend
Surely they do.
does the shout outs on during there, because they'll have an hour. It's an hourly tournament. They'll have a radio station broadcasting results.
You'll know if they have to pause for 15 minutes of station identification to read all my comments.
That was you. That was definitely you.
Yeah.
Avery says another night at the stump. Man, we're gonna be on Toledo. We ain't gonna be on Rayburn, but I'll tell you what. I think I had as many nights at the stump as I could handle last time I was there. I even listen, Avery. You'll appreciate this. You know, it's like really hard for me to overdo it on like my skill. Like I can go at it pretty hard, but I think I had one too many
As they say,
adventures at the stump. The last time I was at Rayburn 2 weeks in a row.
allegedly.
Yeah, they all know me in there at this point. I know that. Like waitresses and bartenders know me because I spent so much time in there when I was down there for those 2 weeks.
That's not a bad thing.
Oh my goodness, it was we won the fun tournament. Like we had more fun than everybody. I assure you that.
Yeah,
I assure you that.
It's always been like that.
Cody Mays says you got to tell me how he made Zach speechless at the roadbed today.
Oh yeah. So
Is this a story we can tell?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I
don't like the pitch in your for sure.
we can.
Okay, let's go. Send it.
I mean,
Full send.
okay, full send. I was trying to back out. So we're loading up to leave our next spot, and Zach's over peeing. And Cody goes, "Hey Zach, you know that's illegal, right?" And Zach goes, "What?" And he goes, "A grown man holding a little boy's pecker."
Nailed it.
Nailed it. And Zach just laughed and goes, "That's good."
That's a good one. That is a good one.
That wasn't too bad.
No, we can tell that joke.
Vic saw it.
The look was priceless.
He was like, man.
Got me, bro.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
you can't even come back
Yeah,
from that. Oh,
yeah.
even old Zach Watts couldn't come back from that.
Yeah. He was doomed from the start.
Oh my goodness. Well, this started off as a fishing podcast, as has devolved into a storytelling,
It's fun when we get off the
food
rails.
eating. Yeah, we've been off the rails for a while in this one. Big C says I'll pay the $37.10 if I'm one of the 14 idiots, and J-Bo said he'd pay me back in free trips.
I like that.
Done and done. J-Bo, you owe him $4,000 in trips.
As Jacob Wheeler says, ding.
Ding.
Yeah. I like it. We need to come up
That
with something
kind of
like that.
that kind of annoys me. That deal.
It does a little bit. Mainly because
And I'm a Jacob Wheeler fan now. Like, and he took the time and talked to us for like an hour after the fork tournament. Like, he's a super nice guy.
I like that he put a
And
bell on
he's
his cooler. though.
probably the best fisherman on planet Earth. But for some reason, the ding thing just kind of, I don't know.
You think it's maybe because 4 of them do it?
I don't know. It just gets me. So I'm like,
'Cause
really?
You got Connell doing it. You got MDJ does it. And then
Yeah,
I think
Adrian and
Regina does
Vina,
it.
they're all boys. They rode together
Yeah.
and all. They roomed together on the road. I mean, it's cool, I guess. You know, I don't know.
I mean, just think about some of the dumb stuff we would say if we all rode together on tournaments like that. Like, think about Zach.
Think of some of the dumb stuff we've said tonight.
I'm just saying, we don't need a special occasion.
No.
Boom goes the dynamite. That makes me think of Family Guy every time.
Boom goes the dynamite?
Yeah.
Oh, boom goes the dynamite.
Oh, I'm bringing the Quagmire
It's
into it for that one.
bro, Michael Sims. Michael Sims had the best one ever. So he says it's ding like yeehaw. So we're out on Rayburn last year on this. It's the same May trip we're taking to Toledo. It's like just a group of dudes that we're all buddies and we just go down there and fish and we fish around each other and have talk trash, have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Sims catches a fish. I think it was like the first fish of the morning for him, the first fish of the trip for him or something. He catches a fish and as loud as he can yells, "Yeehaw!" And I'm like, did you just yell yeehaw across the lake? What the hell? Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna bring the Quagmire and just giggity.
Giggity.
Oh, be a party pooper,
J-Bo, this I don't know if this wasn't really like an option. Like we're just telling you this is how it's gonna be. Like we weren't asking, bro. We weren't asking. Okay, we should have a team tournament where the only way you win is if you can drink the number of pounds of fish you catch in beer cans within an hour after the tournament. So if you catch 20 pounds, you got to drink 20 beers in an hour.
That's called.
Or you just don't win. But here's the deal.
Oh yeah.
The deal is you catch 20 pounds. There's strategy to this, Chris. Like you might be calling out bigger fish, because like in reality, in an hour, I think the most beers you're gonna drink is gonna be somewhere between 10 and 15.
Oh, that'd be pushing it.
I know. I'm thinking like a 12-ish. No, I could probably get 11 or 12 in an hour.
Oh.
I don't know, maybe 10. I think 10's about to. So there's gonna be strategy because you don't want to catch. Skeeter, stop. Go lay down. You don't want to catch much over 10 pounds because if you do, like you bring 20 pounds in, well, you're just gonna bow out. You're not gonna win.
Yeah.
And then you drop down to the next weight. I actually kind of like this idea.
Yeah, I'm out on that.
It's a little different. It's original.
It is different.
How about instead of that, you have to drink shots of whiskey or liquor of your choosing to your number of pounds, but you get like 3 or 4 hours.
That's a little more fair, I think.
Because I think I could do 20 shots of whiskey in like 4 or 5 hours.
But hold on, a shot of whiskey is technically 1 ounce.
Yeah.
That's not what we drink when we drink whiskey. Like a
No,
shot.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you can drink it 2 ounces at a time. It just counts as 2 ounces.
Well, no, I know, but I'm saying it has to be measured.
You can drink it
in
3 or
1
4.
ounce.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 ounce is the measure.
You have to drink the ounces of whiskey to equal the amount of pounds that you caught. Because I think that I could drink 20 ounces of whiskey in 3 or 4 hours. I think I could do it.
Oh yeah, I think so.
I think I could handle that. So then we could actually have like bigger. Avery Gatton says, "I know you can. You've seen it."
Yeah.
At the stump, as a matter of fact.
I agree.
That was an expensive night.
Happens. Happens.
James Mason said, "Saw you at Lake Fork Marina Day." Hey, I hope you came up and said hi. Yeah, I got to meet a lot of folks up there today. It was awesome.
Caught my first frog fish of the year.
When do you think the shad spawn will start? Man, it'll be a little while for shad spawn. The water temperature is still way cold. We do have sometimes shad spawn does start in early April, but we're way warmer. Like we're way colder.
70, 75 range.
Yeah, you need the water to start getting up around 70 for the shad to think about spawning. Yeah. Yep.
I can tell you, we saw some clearer water today in places that I didn't think were going to be clear at all.
Cedar Creek Freak says that's the game you and Z played at Rayburn. Yeah, we won that. We won that drinking tournament. I guarantee you. Next time we have a conference call and call you, need to answer. These suckers tried to call me at 6 a.m. this morning.
Oh, it was before that.
Yeah, it was before that, and I didn't answer because I was sleeping because I wasn't fishing.
So we're huddled up. Me, Vic, Cody in the boat huddled up. We got Cody's phone on speakerphone. Zach is across the cove, and we're all just chatting. And we're like, "What's conference Billy in?" So that's when we called you.
Tried to call me.
Yeah, we were just trying to talk over.
No answer.
Yeah,
no answer.
Throwing Z's up in the air.
That's right. I was laid out when y'all called.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm. You got anything else you want to talk about tonight? Anything on your mind? Inquiring minds need to know?
I am pretty tired. I ain't gonna lie.
You are. You've been a little bit more out of it tonight than you normally are. You haven't been especially in the first like 10 to 15 minutes of this.
I'm a little better now. But
you pretty much weren't even involved in this thing for like a little while.
I mean, I felt like I was Skeeter thinking about chewing on that toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has 13 toys laid right here at Chris's feet. The
right.
dog's not spoiled at all. She lives on this couch. She has 35 toys. She goes fishing. She lives a pretty good life. Skeeter Bug, come on up here. Show everybody your pig. See, this is my pig right here. Y'all see that? She got her little pig. She like tries to talk to me with that thing because she starts making it make noise, and I think she's trying to communicate with it.
She is. Mm-hmm.
I think so.
She's saying, "Want to go fishing? Want to go fishing?"
Is 22 kill tournament going down the 4th of July? Yes. Yeah, we're doing the 22 kill tournament. The actual tournament will be on July 3rd. That's the Saturday. July 4th on a Sunday. Then we'll have the guides tournament on July 4th. But yeah, it is July 4th weekend, and it will always be July 4th weekend. We are definitely doing that this year. You know what I'm saying, Skeeter Bug?
Yay.
With no further ado, thank each and every one of you guys for joining us tonight. I know it was a little bit off. We were both extremely tired. Yes. It's been a lot of fishing, a lot of long days lately. We try to keep it together and get it going. Somebody says, sweet, what's the guides tournament? The guides tournament is, there'll be some guides that donate their day on Sunday, and at the weigh-in of the regular tournament on Saturday, you can bid on which guide you want to be your partner for Sunday. So that's how that works.
Am I allowed to bid this year?
No, you're the tournament director for that.
Just curious. What if am I allowed to bid then let somebody else?
You can bid if we find somebody else that can do your job.
Well, no, I was going to say, I'm going to give a guide trip. I don't have to be the one that goes fishing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're going to bid and let somebody else fish.
Yeah,
of course you can do that.
Well, what I want to do is I want to sponsor an event.
Got you.
And basically send them on a trip.
Let's do it.
Somebody they're choosing.
Yeah, of course we can do that. Of course we can do that. All right. Yeah, so that's coming up. Look forward to that. We'll make more announcements about it in the near future. So, thank y'all for watching as always. Apologize the scatterbrain nature of tonight's, the sluggish scatterbrainness of tonight's podcast. We'll try to do better next time, but no promises. Chris, do that thing you do.
I'm going to go get rid of some crawfish and go to bed.